It is Monday, October 12th. I had today off, so I had a nice long weekend. I think when I left off on Saturday, I had finished Mercy, so I was about to pick up a new book. And on Sunday, I did pick up Cujo, and I read about 30 pages of it, but I put it down again, and I don't think I'm going to continue it right now. Like, I might at a later point, but I didn't know what it was about when I picked it up. I had like some suspicions, but I didn't really know much about it at all. I just thought it was maybe a werewolf story or like a hellhound kind of thing, and someone told me it was about a dog, so I kind of got that. But then I read the first 30 pages. This is like a minor spoiler. It happens in the first 30 pages. Cujo is a dog who gets rabies. And when he gets rabies, the section that there's no chapters in the book, or at least not in the one I'm reading. It's just kind of sectioned off. But in the section when he gets rabies, it's from the dog's perspective, and I didn't like it, and it made me really upset or really sad, and I didn't really want to continue reading it. I will read anything about monsters, hellhounds, whatever, and if bad things happen to people, I'll read about that. I don't know. But bad things happening to dogs is so upsetting. So I have to think about it. I have to think about whether or not I want to continue reading it. So that's where I'm at with that. I didn't read much else yesterday. I didn't really actually read anything else. I don't think I even listened to Interview with a Vampire yesterday. Saturday night into Sunday, we started it on Saturday night and then we finished it on Sunday. Me and some friends watched The Haunting of Bly Manor. All of it. And it was I really liked it. There were definitely points that dragged a bit. The characters were very monologue-y. They had moments where they just kind of kept talking, and it felt like they probably could have just... I thought it was an interesting story. I thought it was really interesting mystery, and the way it played out was good. It was a nice ghost story. Really spooky. Definitely spooky. I was definitely dreaming about it both Saturday and Sunday night. So as for today, my day off, I didn't do a whole lot of physical reading, but I listened to a lot of Interview with a Vampire. So each week, me and my coworkers do a weekly art challenge where we pick a prompt from a book and decide we're gonna do it over the weekend or something. So for last week, someone had picked a prompt saying draw something or paint something using only dots. When doing anything artsy like drawing or painting, that's when I like to listen to my audiobooks. Calm, mindless time that I can just have my hands moving while also listening to a story. So while I was doing that today, I listened to Interview with a Vampire. So obviously I had to paint something sort of relevant, so I painted a bat. It doesn't really look like a bat. The dots didn't quite work out, I think, but whatever. And then after that, I played some video games on my computer, and while I was playing, I also was able to listen to my audiobook because I realized that it doesn't really require listening to play. So I got through a huge chunk of Interview with the Vampire today. I am now at 75% through. I think the last time I checked in, it was 43%. So yeah. And I still really like it, but there are parts that I feel like is dragging, and I don't know. I was super interested in Louis' character in the beginning, and now he's starting to grate on me, and I'm just like, Louis. And I don't know if it's because I'm listening to the audiobook of it, so I can't really take the time to really appreciate the language of it, which is definitely really pretty. The writing is really nice. You can appreciate that in an audiobook to an extent, but there comes a point where if that's all that's really happening, like it's just the flowery language and you're not really getting a lot of action, it can sort of be hard to pay attention. At least for me, in an audiobook. Easier to sort of have to keep going back because you miss details or whatever. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Interview with the Vampire. I'll probably finish it this week. I do have to work tomorrow and the rest of the week, so I probably won't plow through it as quickly as I did today. As for physical reading, I read another story in Japanese Ghost Stories, and I'm still loving this. I am still loving this collection. So the story that I just read is called A Passional Karma. In the very beginning of this section, he talks about the story itself, and he's talking to someone else about the story, about how best to tell the story, and then he tells the story, and then at the end he has a small conversation with his companion who asks him how he felt about the story, and he says, well, these were my impressions of it based on like how I feel as a Westerner. And then the other person was like, and this how like similar it is to how like a Japanese point of view would view it. And it's interesting that they, like, not only does he include the stories, but he includes discussions, like short discussions of the stories. It's not a lot, and it's not like a really formal discussion. It's just like companionable talking. I'm not at the halfway point, so I still have plenty of stories to read, and I think that I'll probably look for other things that he's done. He's got a lot of things he's written and published, although this seems to be bits and pieces collected from other books, because in the back, in the notes, it says for each story where it's from, so I'm thinking it's stories collected from other things that he has published. And then instead of reading Cujo, since I'm putting that on hold right now, tomorrow we're going to start Sandman Slim by Richard Kadrey, because I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like having a fun read. I got my spookiness out of the way by watching Bly Manor. That was plenty spooky, so I feel like I can justify this now. I don't need to read Cujo. That will wait. Okay, it is Monday night. I started Sandman Slim and I'm liking it so far. I've only read about 25 pages, but it's pretty funny and I am looking forward to reading more of it. The main character sort of makes me think of Billy Butcher from The Boys, probably because I just finished watching season 2 of it, so obviously it's on my mind. And then I'm a little bit farther into Interview with the Vampire, and things are heating up, and I'm curious to know how it's gonna end. I don't remember exactly what happens in the movie, and I'm getting anxious, so looking forward to finishing that soon. But as for right now, I'm gonna go eat some ice cream and play some video games. So the last time I recorded was Monday, and it's now Saturday. I didn't record a lot this week, obviously, but that's because I didn't read a lot this week either. It was a short work week, so it went by really fast. One of those weeks where it's hard to keep track of the days because everything's disorienting. Tuesday feels like Monday, Wednesday feels like Tuesday. It's impossible to really have anything planned in short weeks just because it's so disorienting. Anyway, excuses. I also did other things. I played video games and watched movies. I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact lately, a little bit every day so I don't kill all the content. And then for movies, I watched We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which came out in 2018. I didn't realize it was a movie until a couple days ago, and I decided I really wanted to give it a shot since I just read the book, and I liked it. It was good. I think that the actors did a good job portraying these characters, and it was nice to see them portraying these characters from the book. That was entertaining. I do think it would be hard to follow if you hadn't read the book, because there were some things that I feel like they just kind of glossed over, or not glossed over, but certain things, certain lines that the emphasis that I felt should be put on them wasn't. Like, someone would say something, but you could easily just kind of miss it. And like, I get that part of the experience of watching movies is that you may miss things, and like you could go back and rewatch it and like see things that you missed. But I think that missing things in this, missing these crucial lines, really prevented or would prevent someone from understanding what's going on and missing the significance. I'm kind of curious, like, if it would be easy to understand if you hadn't read the book, but I didn't really get that impression of it, that it would be. There were some changes. I didn't think the changes were too terrible or anything. Some things I was like meh about, but overall it was fine. It was entertaining. It was nice to see like a movie adaptation of the book. And then I also watched The Addams Family, classic. Loved it. It was awesome. I can't wait to watch the second one, probably next weekend. I haven't listened to any more of Interview with a Vampire. If I have, it's been like 5 minutes, so no update there. I've read 100 more pages of Sandman Slam. I'm now at 130 pages into it. It is entertaining, fast-paced. I definitely could have read more because it's so fast-paced. There's a lot of dialogue, action. Yeah, I think I classified this as horror, or I said I thought it was horror. It's urban fantasy, definitely urban fantasy, not horror. I don't think I'm getting any spooky vibes from it, besides the fact that, I mean, this guy was stuck in hell, he just escaped, but besides that, it's just more supernatural-esque. I like it, it's entertaining. I have mixed feelings about these kind of urban fantasy books. I used to love them. I read them pretty much exclusively before about 4 years ago. Like from high school to like late college, I was reading primarily urban fantasy books and nothing else. But then when I finally branched out of it, I sort of like, I stopped liking them as much. Like, it's sort of like, if you have an addiction to something, I don't want to compare it to an addiction. It's sort of like that thing that So I don't really like to read urban fantasy anymore. Not as much as I used to. It's because it didn't leave me feeling satisfied when I would finish these books. I usually finish these books and had like a hollow feeling, an empty feeling, which made me buy more books. Like continue reading these urban fantasy books, specifically like Kim Harrison and Patricia Briggs, Faith Hunter. I would finish a book, feel empty, and be like, I need the next book in the series, and get the next one. And then I would reread the series if the next book wasn't out yet. It was like an endless cycle. And even though I was enjoying the book when I was reading it, as soon as I put it down, no, it didn't leave me feeling great. But then I started reading other books that I had a different experience when I would finish them. I felt satisfied, which is strange. And I was like, I didn't realize that you could feel this way after reading a book, or that a book could leave you feeling anything other than just hollow. But I'm still gonna finish this book. I can still enjoy urban fantasy. The genre itself isn't bad. It's just certain types of books make me feel a certain type of way. That's where I'm at this week. Not a whole lot that I did. I mean, I watched a lot, played a lot, and I read a little. But when I continue reading this tonight, I'll probably read a lot of it because it's so fast-paced, and I'm actually going to sit down. I'm not watching any movies. I already played, so I'm not playing any more games. I'm just gonna read. So I'll probably read a lot of it. I wonder how much. Maybe I'll kill it. How I won't kill it. I don't know. So we'll see. You'll find out in the next vlog. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I post next, hit the bell. Have a nice day. Bye.